The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, Koki fight under investigation, resettlement for Kapit people, and Governor's Cup given clearance. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Gideon Ikumu says investigation is underway into the death of a Wanigala man following yesterday's fight at Koki. He said a post-mortem will be conducted to find the cause of death.
Investigations are underway into the death of a Wanigala man and the cause of the ethnic clash between the Wanigalas and Goilalas at Koki in Port Moresby yesterday. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Gideon Ikumu said a post-mortem will be conducted to identify the cause of death. According to eyewitnesses, police, while responding to the fight, opened fire on the crowd to contain the situation. They further alleged that the deceased man from Wanigala was a victim of the shooting. The Metsub said investigation is underway, adding that those responsible for the man's death will face the law. He also confirmed that the Wanigalas also fired gunshots during the fight and a couple of police officers were stoned. A police vehicle was also caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, a man from Goilala who allegedly tried to rob the taxi driver who triggered the fight has been arrested and charged for armed robbery. Jumaima Sugbat, TV1 News.
Bulolo MP and Acting Prime Minister Sam Basil recently called on the residents of Wau to control their children. He outlined that the 2020 clash between warrior settlers and the Biangai landowners was started by intoxicated youth. Recent gathering at Mairo Block in Wau, Bulolo MP and Acting Prime Minister Sam Basil reminded settlers that the confrontation in 2020 between warrior and Biangai landowners was instigated by intoxicated young men and women. That is why parents and guardians should not let their children and wards roam around aimlessly.
Planted generation come stop finish, walking mouse, come up in Piginini. Now you know what place lo place. No got ground lo place. Me pla try finish lo rausi mol man lo bulolo go lo place bro. That's all come back. We must learn to live together. Which means that you plan responsible too. Time you make come up in more Piginini, plant come up. You must put him all look out blue me, wash blue me. Now you can let him all go make him number out.
Basil said the same goes for the landowners of Bulolo, who must be responsible for their children. He said the only way to live in peace was for those living in Wau to respect each other.
Now me been talk plenty time finish. Time me sana blow over blow Wau. Now me talk. Me talk osem. Look at one man but can fix him every blow email here. Suppose community you miss our line will stop together na respecting one another. By you looking more some sample development by coming.
The Bomana Police Training College has for the first time endorsed and fully incorporated child protection training modules into its curriculum for new police recruits. 50 operational officers are expected to be the first to benefit from the training in Q3 of 2022.
The child protection training module, crafted within the framework for the protection of children in the country, laid down by the National Child Protection Policy 2017 to 2027 and Lookout in Pikinini Act 2015, will educate police officers on providing improved policing services for children in need of care and protection, as well as child victims or survivors of violence. The Royal PNG Constabulary has also developed a shortened introduction to child protection training course for officers already serving in the field. 50 operational officers are expected to be the first to benefit from the training in Q3 of 2022 and is intended to train up to 100 police recruits in early 2023, while the Bomana Police Training Commandant and Assistant Commissioner John Colopen is leading this milestone curriculum. This process was made possible through the support of the Australian government, DFAT, through its long-term partnership in child protection with UNICEF PNG. Colopen said it is the first time for such a training in PNG. There was no specific child protection training in their curriculum until now. He thanked UNICEF PNG and the Australian Federal Police through the PNG Australian Policing Partnership for their support in their combined efforts to better protect and care for children in PNG. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Parents are encouraged to take ownership of their children's education in spite of the free education policy. Morobe's Program Advisor for Education, Keith Tangui, said with thousands of primary and secondary students flocking into schools, parents need to ensure the environment is conducive for learning. The government has allocated 632 million kina in the 2022 national budget for the education sector, compared to the 486 million kina in 2021. This funding exempts students from preschool up to grade 12 in government-recognized schools from paying school fees, excluding project fees and other necessary fees set by schools.
As far as I know. But before they do that, the onus is on the parents to make sure the school is in a conducive environment for the students. They cannot complain and sit down and say, oh, the government has not done this and that. Who's going to do that? Parents take responsibility.
COVID-19 pandemic has struck the country hard with its fourth wave, and essential items are quickly becoming scarce in hospitals. Friends of POMGEN recently funded items to the hospital and received donations on behalf of the hospital as well. Business house Sakura Marine Limited donated 38,000 face masks that will cater for all staff and patients during this pandemic surge. Friends of POMGEN funded PMGH with 10 sanitizer dispensers worth more than 40,000 kina. These generous donations will continue the emphasis on saving lives and providing necessary protection from COVID-19. Due to the reported case of Omicron in Eastern Highlands Province in the last couple of months, the provincial health authorities has urged tertiary institutions in the province to conduct COVID-19 tests on all students who are returning from hotspot provinces.
Director of Curative Health Services Dr. Max Manape confirmed that so far there were 10 cases reported, including an Omicron case. He said of the rest of COVID-19 cases, had 6 reported from Goroka Base, 2 in Henganofi, and 1 in Daulo. Dr. Manape said from contact tracing, it is known that the one Omicron case originated from South Africa, where the carrier is a mine worker. He said the provincial health authorities concerned now is finding effective ways of minimizing the spread in the province, and urged major educational institutions to work with the PHA in getting surveillance teams on the ground to test students returning from hotspot provinces immediately. Manape stressed that the institutions make it mandatory for vaccinations, as there is nothing sinister involved, and that all continue the new normal practices still. Meanwhile, the hospital management has set up additional 200 bed space at the National Sports Institute for stabilized patients. A 40-bed high dependency unit is being created as a separate wing at the hospital. In collaboration with Governor Peter Numu and stakeholders, they have revamped the hospital outpatient and consultation reporting systems for COVID-19 cases to cater for complaints neglected during the first wave. Dr. Manape said symptoms of the Omicron variant was not as prominent as the COVID-19 variant, where people experienced a shortness of breath. Instead, there were numerous gastrointestinal complaints being received. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
TVWAN News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
When skin tends to lack natural oil, it is termed dry skin. Refresh and rehydrate with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost range. Here's a simple 3-step routine. 1. Hydro Boost Cleanser. It is gentle, won't clog pores, and adds moisture to the skin, unlike soap. Step 2. A moisturizer, such as this one, for replenishment. Step 3. Bright Eyes. This specially formulated eye roll-on infuses moisture around the delicate eye area. And there you go. Be beautiful, be you.
If you are a farmer, be on the lookout. The fall armyworm is a caterpillar of an insect pest that feeds on more than 80 plant species. It can cause damages to economically cultivated crops, plus other vegetable crops, and is currently damaging corn. This caterpillar can destroy corn, sugarcane, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, cabbages, cucumber, even rice, and many other crops. This armyworm can spread really fast, over 100 kilometers in the wind at night. Fall armyworm has already been detected in the Western Province and has spread to Central Province, Morobe, and other parts of PNG.
NACI advises that anyone who sights this fall armyworm must quickly report to agriculture authorities in your province. A public service announcement by the Media Development Initiative, authorized by the National Agriculture Quarantine Inspection Authority and supported by the PNG Australia Partnership Program.
Dear son, you ask me how I live such a good life. Yes, I've had some good luck, like the day I met your mother. But it wasn't always that way. I've made some good choices too, like working hard and keeping my super with NASFAN. They looked after it for me, which meant I could concentrate on looking after my family. Living each day, knowing that when the time came, I'd be ready for tomorrow. Love, Dad. Open hands.
Susan, I want something.
Sunshine Nutri-Strong. New blue packet Sunshine milk.
Ah, Sunshine got new blue packet milk.
Yes, good lo walking coffee, tea, na baking scone too. Sunshine Nutri-Strong. Scale lo making Milo or milk belong all picking long drink too.
Nice.
Now Sunshine Nutri-Strong. You got vitamins and minerals too.
Sunshine Nutri-Strong, the new nutritious milk from Sunshine.
Welcome back. Newcrest Lihir Operations is progressing a project that will see families from one of the mine-affected villages resettled on a new site with proper land allotments under a secure state lease. The project will also help further develop the Londolovit township. Minister for Lands and Physical Planning John Rosso visited Lihir last week, where he met with company officials of Newcrest Lihir and local leaders to support and help the facilitation of resettlement of Lihir's Kapit landowners on state land. The project coincides, with the ongoing reforms being planned and carried out by the department.
During the stakeholder meeting, it was highlighted that the township of Londolovit had grown since the mine's construction began in 1995. Today, the island is home to an estimated 20,000 people, with mine workers making up the majority.
When construction for the mine started, residents of two villages, Putput and Kapit, had to be relocated and resettled. Kapit residents did not have alternative customary land to be resettled on and were resettled in a number of different locations around Neolom Island. In consultation with Kapit leaders and the community, Newcrest embarked on the resettlement project on land that the company leases from the state. It has enlisted the help of the Department of Lands and Physical Planning to make this happen. The process involves the conversion of two agricultural leases held by Newcrest to a consolidated special purpose lease that will enable permanent resettlement on subdivided land within the consolidated SPL and also help to further develop the Londolovit township. The department confirmed that PNG's laws do not directly address the issue of resettlement. Lihir's issue is an example and could be used as a template for other project sites as the department pushes forth with proposed legislative amendments and other reforms.
This thinking lo mi bla lo town development and one bla good bla thinking na we talk it's about time that we come up with the current input lo company now lo Lands Department, and me giving me plan now this avenue where me can now go look implementing all this some all this thing we come up there.
The first subdivision will see the development and grant of approximately 100 state leases to the Kapit families. It is a template that could be used in other project sites around the country.
I'd like to also commend the company for approaching us with this thing on the resettlement process after mine life closures. Because when the mine closes, like in every other instance, and as rightfully GM pointed out, there is no set law on resettlement process. But with the company taking the first steps to approach us and ensure that the mine life, after the mine life closes, that is something that resettlement is done. I take my caps off to you guys. Not too many mines do that.
Mary Stella Kelleton, TV1 News.
The government has signed a trade protocol agreement for export of live marine products to the Chinese market. Fisheries Minister Dr. Lino Tom made the announcement in China during the recent visit with the Prime Minister.
A satisfied Minister for Fisheries, Dr. Lino Tom, has praised Prime Minister James Marape for the successful trip to China, especially for the fisheries sector. The government successfully signed the trade protocol agreements for the export of live marine products to the Chinese market with the General Administration of Customs of the Republic of China. This particular agreement signed the protocol on inspection, quarantine and veterinary sanitary requirements for wild marine fishing aquatic products and the protocol on quarantine and hygiene requirements for edible aquatic animals. Minister Tom said the protocol on dead and or frozen marine products was signed 2 years ago, and now some 78 nationally based companies are able to access this gigantic market directly without any middlemen in other Southeast Asian nations. Dr. Lino explains that this now means their profits can no longer be diluted, and having direct access to a large market is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for our people. He added that the onus is on us now to take full advantage of this market access by complying with the requirements agreed to in this trade protocol agreement. As a responsible government, Minister Tom said they have ensured that access is fully granted. He is now calling on the companies and citizens who want to exploit these opportunities. Godwin Eki, TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape has commended China for a positive engagement to expand their country's ongoing interest in Papua New Guinea's oil and gas sector, particularly in the upcoming biggest gas projects in Papua, LNG and Niang. The PM was speaking from Port Moresby on Sunday, 6th January, in relation to negotiations between the team and China's giant petroleum company Sinopec, held recently in Beijing and PNG.
Sinopec is an acronym for China Petroleum and Chemical Corporation. It is one of the biggest suppliers of oil and petrochemical products in China and one of the biggest in the world. Prime Minister James Marape thanked Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Karenga Kua, and Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited Managing Director Wapu Song, who led the negotiations on his behalf with the Senior Vice President of Sinopec. The meeting discussed PNG's petroleum sector and Sinopec's involvement in the upstream and downstream opportunities, including the company's interest to buy LNG from Papua LNG and PNG gas. The meeting went well with Sinopec, indicating to buy more gas from Papua LNG, PNG, and others in the pipeline. Marape added that the China trip was intended to promote the government's move into downstream processing. Premier Lee supported the idea. Sinopec is a foundation LNG buyer of PNG LNG on long-term contract up to 20 years. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
You're watching TVWAN News. Sports is next. Stay tuned.
At BSP, we continue to offer our valued customers smart banking solutions. We're proud to introduce our new range of Visa chip cards, now providing our customers convenient options to shop with touch and go and enhanced security features. For any purchase up to 50 kina, you can simply touch and go. And for other amounts, simply insert your card and enter your PIN. Enjoy the convenience and safety of a BSP chip card, available at your local BSP branch. BSP, our bank, our people.
Back to school 2022 i come up easy through one-time roots rice. 600 per line I can get sans lo win him 500 kina, lo hap pony mark lo 300,000 kina. Lo got sans lo win, you must buy him 10 kg roots rice product, write him contact details below on top lo empty bag, na drop him entry inside lo entry box lo store. Vieni mipla online or sek him store lo kisi mo tok save. Win him school fee money one-time roots rice. Good pella rice, good pella price.
Video marketing is the latest trend in today's world. We at Trend Media have the expertise and unrivaled multimedia platforms to take your messages to the next level. Our TVWAN platform gets the most audiences from Filipino dramas, popular sports telecasts, and up-to-date live news. Advertise on Digicel TV and TV1 to bring your messages to the center stage. For more information, contact Trend Media today.
Welcome back. The PNG Barramundis are due to undergo a tough 3-week training camp on the Gold Coast in preparation for upcoming international fixtures. A larger squad of 22 players will head to the Gold Coast this Sunday. They will be based at Runaway Bay, attending the Gold Coast High Performance Sports Centre. Throughout the 3 weeks, the Barramundis will train at the Gold Coast Cricket Club, whilst also playing practice matches against club sides where available. The camp serves as a final selection opportunity, and given the poor form of 2021, the coaching staff may be looking at a number of changes to the side. At the conclusion of the camp, the side will head back to Dubai for a series of matches against the UAE and Nepal as part of the ICC World Cup League 2 tournament. PNG are currently bottom of the table in this tournament, with 0 wins from 12 games. The annual 2021-2022 NCD Governors Rugby League Cup Challenge has been given conditional approval by the National Pandemic Controller's Office to go ahead. The tournament will run for the 18th of February to the 27th, February 2022 at the Bava Rugby Park, Boroko, with 58 teams confirmed.
Approval for the annual 2021-2022 NCD Governors Rugby League Cup to go ahead has been granted by the National Pandemic Controller's Office through the nuclear passing team. The team met briefly with the tournament director Simon Nwabo and all the club representatives on Saturday to carry out awareness on the importance of adhering to the new measures for their own safety and everyone around them.
Make a bit of awareness to all the clubs to comply with the nuclear passing. And they gave us the approval to host a tournament from 18th to 27th of this month. And I'd like to take this time to thank the controller for having the trust in us to give us the approval. And the first part of the awareness, we have started the awareness on Saturday.
The 2021-22 edition of the tournament will be played over 10 days from February 18 to February 27 at the Barber Rugby Park. 48 men's team and 10 women have been confirmed. Nwabo said Governor Parkov's approach this year is to discourage regionalism and instead promote peace and unity amongst the different ethnic groups, especially the youth, representing all electorates and suburbs in NCD, including traditional landowners of Motu Koita. In re-emphasizing the new passing measures, Nwabo reminded everyone to remain vigilant by adhering to the new measures before, during and after each game day. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
James Seguiaro has been clamoring for a contract in recent months with little interest from clubs across the competition, which could be considered a surprise given his experience and performance in the top grade. But on Sunday, the former Dali M Hooker of the Year announced he had signed with Blacktown Workers, the feeder club for Manly, for the upcoming season. Signing with Manly Feeder Club was a huge relief for the PNG international, as he never gave up on his dream to play in the NRL again. Though it is not an NRL contract, Seguiaro said it represents hope. Seguiaro has amassed over 150 games in first grade and was once the most exciting dummy half in the NRL. And that ends TV1 News tonight. Remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you are feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.